Hey guys, so today I'm going to be talking about my newest reptile. This is Beth, the around 2-year-old leopard gecko that I took in. Somebody no longer wanted her, and I've had her in a quarantine, as you can see, just paper towel, set up for the last probably couple months. I will be able to tell you that proper information later in the video. I just need to check my notes. But I basically just kept her in this quarantine process, or quarantine tank and setup while I am building her a proper enclosure with a cool background and bioactive soil and also plants. I'm not quite done with the enclosure yet, but I just wanted to talk about the way that I have quarantined her. So this is me setting up the tank the first time, like right when I got her, and I actually kept her for a few days upstairs out of my reptile room, but she didn't have anything on her and I wasn't really worried about it, and I could focus more on her if she was down in my room, so I moved her down to my room. And this is just a little bit of footage of her moving around and exploring her new tank, which I'm sure was an interesting experience because she had just been moved around and everything. So here is how I clean it. I just take out the paper towel and all the rocks and everything. I rinse off the bowl, and then I just go through and replace everything, and that's it. Okay, so it's been pretty much exactly 2 months since I've gotten Beth, and she's been doing really well. I feed her close to every 3 to 4 days, which is, I think, the proper amount to feed, or proper amount to feed leopard geckos that are over a year old. And she has gained a little bit of weight, and basically she's been doing well weight wise, which is very exciting for me. And also she's been defecating properly and shedding and everything. But this isn't her final enclosure at all. Obviously, this paper towel, I just threw some rocks in here just to give her something. This is her warm hide. I have a heat pad on a thermostat, so as you can see, the little thing that goes down in there, so it can accurately turn off the heater if it gets too hot. And then I have a water bowl here, and I also kind of spray down there sometimes while she's in shed, because again, I don't have a proper humid hide. And then this is her makeshift cool hide as well, but in her final enclosure there'll be more than just 2 hides for sure. And then this is where she's been deciding to go to the bathroom, so I have a piece of slate rock there. So basically, this is just a real simple enclosure. I don't really like pre-made hides, so that's why I just made it out of rocks and wood rather than using like a rock hide, or like a fake rock hide from a store or something. And then I just have paper towel. I've thought about taking out the paper towel and putting in soil, like that will be in her final enclosure, just so she can get that humidity. But I don't think I'm going to do that because I am going to be done with her enclosure pretty soon. And her final enclosure is a 40-gallon, so it'll be much, much bigger than this is, which is also good. And yeah, she's been doing really well. She is very handleable, or very tolerant of being handled, and she also eats really, really well. She's very food motivated. I have tongs now, which are pretty cool. I bought those because it's much easier to feed them with tongs, and she takes them just fine. She was eating mealworms, I believe, or superworms, or mealworms with her last owners, but she is now eating dubia roaches, and she switched over without a problem. And I always hand feed her, which I guess probably isn't the best thing because you kind of want them to get like enrichment and go around and be active. But she is pretty active. Every once in a while she'll go and explore around. But in her final enclosure, there'll be lots of enrichment, different things to look around at and move around. I have plants that I've gathered here that I've been quarantining as well. These plants all here, and then that plant as well. And also, so basically just a bunch of succulents and then some cactuses as well. And those will all be going in her bioactive 40-gallon vivarium, which I'm very excited about because I've only done tropical vivariums, not arid vivariums before. So I don't really like exactly how the lid situation is here, but the only lid that I have for a 30 by 20 tank is, or 30 by 12 tank is this lid that's on my crested gecko's enclosure. So she can't actually climb out, but just in case, and just so she doesn't try, I have this. So this is just a big flat piece of slate, and then this is some chicken wire type of stuff that I just have sitting here. And I know that she can't get out, and I'm not worried about my dogs or cats getting up here because it's just too tall for them to get up on. So it's just so she doesn't try to get out. So it serves its purpose. And that's pretty much it for me quarantining her. I've been using the calcium without D3 that I have for my iguana, but I need to buy calcium with D3, or I might just buy a UVB light for her final enclosure, because I know that they do, or that would be good for her, that probably would be beneficial, and then I can use the same calcium for both her and my iguana for supplementation. So I think I'm planning on doing that. And I'm also planning on using a heat light, but I'm not sold on that yet. We'll see how I put in the thermostat and everything. We'll just kind of see how that goes. So I'm excited to keep her. I really like her, and she's been very cool to keep so far. So I'm excited to get her into her final enclosure, and yeah, I like leopard geckos, like keeping leopard geckos more than I thought I would. So that's very exciting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, like it down below. If you have any comments or concerns, put in the comments below. And if for more content, then subscribe. Have a fantastic day, and I hope to see you in the next video. By the way, I believe she's a tangerine morph, and that's why she doesn't have the leopard pattern like most leopard geckos do.